Welcome to another edition of Live with Suzi, part number 5 of our series that we have started with Shane Malek, the financial consultant and the president of FMIS Inc. That we are so thrilled and happy to have him every other week with us on Live with Suzi, telling us about the world of finance, particularly about the ones that we are interested in our upcoming retirements, trying to maintain and sustain our lifestyle, our standard of living that we are accustomed to, and learned every other week so much from Shane Malek. We really appreciate your time and trusting in us, talking to us, having been in this business, Shane, for more than 30 years, and with so many happy, satisfied clients. Thanks for being with us.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you for having me, Suzi. Always good to talk with you.
Likewise. Before we start, I will also announce the phone number because, as everyone is aware, we are also podcasting. So I will announce the number is 800-477-1556. You can call and have a consultation and find out what can be done for you. And also you can go to the website and check the website out, www.fmisinc.com, fmisinc.com. It's Shane Malek's website. By the way, I do remind you, since this is part 5 of our series that we have started, you can go check back 1, 2, 3, 4 so far on the website I just mentioned. They have it all there for you, as well as Live with Suzi social media sites, which we are on also YouTube and podcasts. On that note, let me start with this world that we don't know what's going on. I wish somebody would have a crystal ball. I think Shane has, if anyone. And I want to ask him a question today regarding your prediction that what do you think, Shane, will happen to the stock market? Share with us, please, if you would.
Wow, what a big question. Obviously, nobody has, it's hard when you can predict something. Obviously, everyone has their own assessment, mainly, but the general consensus is that basically the stock market has to correct itself every normally 7 to about 10 years. And it's long overdue. Obviously, last one we had was in '08. And then some people are saying that, well, the market did correct itself last year or this year, I should say early part of this year. It dropped almost 12,000 points, but it regained in no time. That really had nothing to do with the correction of the stock market. Obviously, that had totally had other reasons. If it had been that, it would have been reacted differently, obviously. To come back to where it is now today. And then obviously we're still above 30,000 points, which is unheard of in the short time we've had. But in any election year, typically the market doesn't move a whole lot, So most likely my guess is that the market will remain for a month or two maybe. Last year obviously didn't do a whole lot towards the end. But when it comes to the new year, as we're in now, in the new year after the election, then the chances are, and it's been 12 years, 13 years now, and the chances are the market will behave differently. And if you compare this with the rest of the world stock market, you see that not all of them are doing as good as we are in the United States. So it's telling that it should, because also you can't really have everything's going up as much as it has continuously, because then that's going to create inflation. So they have to one way or another offset that. So hopefully, things stay as rosy as they are, but really everybody is saying that at some point this market will correct itself. Obviously, I don't know when, I don't know how much, I don't know how bad, and I don't know how soon it comes back. But when it does normally go down, as the history of the stock market reflect, it takes a good 5 to 10 years to come back. So obviously, that's a huge difference for people that are in their 50s and 60s and 70s, obviously, because now if you're at a point where you want to sort of use your retirement monies, use your 401ks and IRAs and what you have, you don't have the money if you want to use it and you want to take the money out. Therefore, you are absorbing the losses that would happen in the market. So the best thing is to avoid going into it. So my honestly suggestion is if you're actively working, you need to reroute your money a little bit. Maybe not all, but you can reroute it and put some of them into some safer things, money market funds. I know they don't pay a whole lot, but at least you know that you won't be affected if the market dropped all of a sudden, or the market, I wouldn't like to use the word crash, but corrected itself. So, or if you've already retired and have the money elsewhere, then if you're good with 5 or 6 or 7% interest, like I said, that can easily be guaranteed. And being into programs that would guarantee these safety features that you would not be losing part of the principal at any given time. And if, again, you're earning 5 or 6 or 7% in terms of interest, then you probably set, because you can use the interest to supplement your retirement income per se, without the fear of losing the actual principal. Some of you might be in the stock market. In other words, you're buying stocks. If you're doing that, then you're not a normal investor. You are somebody that knows hopefully what you're doing, and hopefully you're making money. But
I like the word hopefully. With the stock market, we always have to be hopefully.
Yeah, it's always a gamble. It's always a gamble. People that know that what they're doing still don't know what they're doing. Markets, normally stock market has so many turns to turn, and it could be brutal sometimes. So you have to be very careful. If you heavily invested into the stock market, you always have to diversify yourself. So that's my thinking about that. But the point is, the problem is greed. So once you understand the market has a other side also, it could be very devastating in some cases.
Now, let me touch upon what you mentioned a sentence before, switch gears here, to the one that you said, if we have money that we get 5, 6, 7%, and we can be comfortable. Please let us know, do we need a certain amount of capital or cash in order to be able to get into those kind of products?
Well,
and if so, what would be the minimum? Like if someone listens and gets excited, oh, fantastic, I can get 5% or, up to 7% even. How much do I really need to put down in order to get that? And what age do I have to be?
Age is the most important part of it, as opposed to the amount. Of course, most companies have different minimums depending on what they offer. But all of these interest rates that are guaranteed are for a reason. So say, and I've said that in a different format in the previous sessions we've had, that whenever you go into the stock market, you're going to have to pay one way or another, whether you paid some sort of a strategic so-called asset management fees kind of things, or you pay administrative fees. But all do have some sort of a fee structure into it. Some you see, some you don't even see. It's not called as something. It just, it's just inside your investment. So as you buy things, it's part of it already going to the fees. And that's a given, no matter what you do, even the ones that advertise differently. Trust me, they all have some sort of a fee structures in there. With this, you have to give some time. So instead of giving money, you have to give some time. So if I give you 6% for 10 years, I would like to have your money for 10 years so I can make 8, 9, 10% so I can turn around and give you 6%. Okay, you can't
Gotcha.
have
Okay.
you can't have a certain amount of money and get 6 or 7% for 1 year and take your money and go. Generally, it doesn't work that way. Second thing is you asked me about the amount. Various companies have various numbers. Typically, you're supposed to have $50,000 enough to be able to gain that kind of interest rates. But there are companies that pay you the same interest rate with even 20,000. In some cases, I know some companies are even 10,000. But the purpose of each is very different. So again, we need to figure out before anything what you want to do with this money, what you understand, what it is you want, and I can tell you exactly what to do to get what interest rate and for how many years. And those are important. So we need to tailor to each person's needs. And in order to do it, we need to find out where you are, what age, retired, working, what you want, per se, where you want to go from here. And we'll design basically your future based on the money that we have so that we can, like I always say, sustain that money that you want to have every month to have a comfortable life.
Absolutely, which is the beauty of really coming to someone like yourself, because you put everything together, you have a complete picture of one's life and their finance before you actually make it couture to their needs and upcoming future and being able to kind of sustain their lifestyles. So that's the beauty of it. Now, the last minute or two of our interview today and conversation, just give us some ideas about how can we actually protect our investment in this.
If you're working and you have a 401k, if someone right now has got some money going each month for their 401k, and most of these situations, you are at the mercy of your employer because they pick and choose as to what you can invest in. So there's not a whole lot you can do in terms of things that I'm talking about. However, a lot of these people, a lot of these companies that you work for will allow you to do either within their own, number of their stocks or mutual funds that they offer to you, and kind of allocate things to a point where you can actually reduce your risk of losing this, money. Or you could, for a while, put the money into something, like I said, in a money market fund situation till sort of this wave passes you, because it's a given that the market in 2021 will correct itself. I'll be very honestly surprised if nothing happens. The administration has changed, and that's one reason. Number two is because it's been 13 years now. So
it's time, basically.
It's time, anytime.
The clock is ticking.
It's a ticking bomb, exactly.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, Shane.
When you understand that, you know that you have to protect your asset.
Totally. All right. If we want to get more info, please feel free to contact Shane Malek, the financial consultant, president of FMISINC, 800-477-1556, or check out the website, FMISINC.com. Thank you, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Be safe.
Thank you. Thank you, Suzi. Likewise. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it.